Ray Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everybody, to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, along with G. Bush, Dustin Fox, Tyvis Powell. I'm Adam the Bull. We got a lot to get to today. Mike Doss is going to be with us later, not in studio. Mike, of course, played with G in high school and played with Dustin in college, so that's all coming up.
And I played against him in high school.
And you played against him in high school?
Yeah, they did.
Right.
Yep.
That's right.
We played against each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Any confrontations?
G was a very large human being in high school. He was, dude, like, you don't understand. Like, Garrett Bush was the.
Don't you got like a highlight tape?
He was a big deal, man.
Oh yeah, I was kind of nice back then.
I want to see your high.
He was one of those guys. Like, if you went to let's say you went to like an Ignatius game now, or like one of the great big school, Hoban or something like that, and you see one of the linemen, it looks like they're already in college. This was G. Bush in high school. Like, he was the one dude that stood out.
Right.
Well, you know what's funny? When you play Dustin, him and his brother, like, so I remember his brother like being in this like dunk contest, right? And this is in the mid '90s. This is like.
Well, this is peak. Like, he graduated high school in '96, so this must have been like 94, 95.
And it was all of it was
born.
legends, right? They're like, hey, there's these two white kids, right?
That's funny. Because that right there make you
And there's like,
what?
there's like, huh? They're like, no, listen, he got like a 40-inch vertical. And I said, what position they play? He played in secondary. I said, shut up. Second by the secondary. This is ridiculous. It didn't back then. See, they don't understand, Dustin. You play tailback too.
Oh, dude, and my brother was a quarterback now.
Right.
And there was no social media, so you didn't like.
So it was all urban legend. Then when we played them, I was like, damn, they are really fast. This is crazy.
Did I ever show you that video of my brother dunking in the game? Did I ever show it to you?
I can't remember.
WHBC.
WHBC back in the day.
Shout out
Jim
Johnson.
Jim Johnson is the greatest of all time. He was our version.
Sam Berkwin.
He was our version of old boy. That was our Munchberger.
He was okay. So like back in the day in Stark County. And sorry if this is boring you, but we have a lot of audience from Stark County around that. So like, they would have the game of the week. And it would be like tape delayed on cable.
Oh yeah.
WHBC would do. It was the biggest thing, and if you got on that game, like, it was the shit. It was
just football.
Just a football game, and they would re-air it like later that night and Saturday morning.
I was watching it.
You'd record it on VHS,
right?
And it don't let you have Tim Taverns catch it.
Tim's Tavern. Catch of the day.
Catch of the day.
Oh, come on!
They gave you not only got a plaque. They let
you got the plaque, and you got a free fish sandwich.
Got the free fish. I was like, yo, that was the craziest thing ever. Shout out to Todd Porter. I don't know where he's at right now.
Todd Porter's the best, man.
What do they do now for the high school kids?
Nothing,
dude.
It's just
nothing. There's no even TV games.
There's none.
Well, I guess Spectrum does some. Spectrum does some
games. I was
about
to say that was a thing even when I was in high school.
When we did it, Tyvis, you remember there was no Browns. So
it's still Friday football.
But at that point there was nobody that could like root for the Browns. So that meant your football fix came from Friday night.
Yeah,
like,
Friday night or Saturday. We didn't have the Browns. We're talking like late '90s. Browns came back in '99. So like when we were in high school, what year did you graduate?
I graduated 2000.
I was 01. So like we were in high school in the '90s.
Yep.
And my brother was in obviously the '90s as well. And it was. Dude, we didn't have the Browns from '96 or '95-ish.
Yeah.
To '99.
My whole high school
4 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah. So people watched the Buckeyes and they came to watch.
I guess y'all would.
High school attendance was up.
Cleveland.
Honestly, I think it's why a lot of people like my age are not like diehard Browns fans. Like I lost the Browns in the peak era of my like being shaped into and molded into who I am as a fan, right? Like I didn't even like football as a young kid, but when I got to high school, it became like very important to me.
That's weird. I didn't start playing until I was like 14.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't know this?
I hate people like you. No, I do because I just picked it up in high school and I just turned out to be good.
Hey,
I've been playing since I was 9.
Man, I ain't one. Listen, I played baseball when I was 6. I wasn't that good in basketball. I got cut one year and grew like 5 inches. It was like, okay, we gonna put you can play now. But football, I went. My brothers, they all played when they were like a mighty midget league type thing.
So what did you do when they played?
I go and just watch, and I'd be the biggest dude in the stands.
Oh my goodness!
And they would be like, my dad played, and they would be like, how does your son not play? He is that big. And he's like, bro, I told him if he played, he can't quit. And I played when I was in like 8th grade or 9th grade, and I was like,
did you dominate right away?
No, I was garbage.
Really?
I wanted to quit. Like I had one.
When I was 9, like I was first of all, I was one of the taller dudes on the team, but I was fast. I was always faster than a lot of people, and like I played DN.
See,
and I used to just run past the tackles and get the sack. It was just like.
What'd you weigh in high school?
In high school, like a senior?
Yeah.
$180.
Okay. Yeah. I was like 175, man.
I was like 270. So look,
in high school?
Yeah.
Dude, he looked like like a starter for Ohio State when he's a senior.
Wait a minute, but Tuesday you said your ideal player weight is 272.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. This
and
best he ever looked.
And I went best
he ever looked. He peaked in high school.
I peaked in high school, and you know what happened? They said, "How did you get so good?" I found out that girls like people that's good.
Duh.
I said, hold on, I gotta get my name out here or something, bro. I said I gotta have celebrations, and I gotta look nice too. So it worked out.
Well, before I even had the scholarships and all that, I always had sauce. So
yeah, you gotta have the sauce.
I always,
I was a late.
I was already good.
Yeah,
in that department.
Tyvus had already had a beard.
All right, well, Mike Doss is going to come on at noon, and we'll
reminisce.
Break down G. Bush. We'll break down Dustin Fox. Do you know Mike at all, Tyvus? I mean, you're both Buckeyes, but
so me and Mike had a beef for many, many years because Mike has this really beautiful house in Columbus, and he never allowed me to come over his house, but I ended up coming to his house last year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
All right.
So we ended our beef.
All right.
I was just there for the first time 2 weeks ago.
See?
Really?
He'll be letting people come to his
ridiculous.
house. Oh, it's unbelievable.
All right.
His man cave, dude. It's off the charts.
Listen, I didn't know the man since I was like 5.
You never been to his house?
No.
And he lived right around the corner from me. That's the sickest part.
Listen, where's the one shot?
Yeah.
Right here. So I worked with this guy over here, Adam, going
I was waiting for that.
15, 20 years?
I don't know, 12
I know,
years
but
or something.
to be fair, you've been invited, but
Never been inside his house. Not once. Never been inside his house.
I'm
gonna have
He met me outside. Met me outside. Met me outside.
That's messed up.
It's not on purpose. It just happened that
And
way.
Justin, not to rub salt in the wound, but I've been to Bull's house multiple times.
Of course you have.
He was going to let Mike McNuggets house sit while he was away.
He almost did, yes.
I took Bull home from work one day and didn't even
He didn't invite you in?
No.
No sandwich?
Nope, nothing.
No drink of water?
It was a bad job out of me.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, take you later.
One of these days, we're going to remedy this.
Well, Bull's renovating his house, so you have us all over.
I'm not even at my house right now. So
Are you living somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm going back and forth.
Okay.
I'm in the house half the time.
Tyvus, this is what I be telling you. Yeah, I love white people. You know how much money you gotta have for you have to move out for renovation?
Yeah,
I'll be there at the same time looking at the plumber.
I'm telling you.
What you doing?
I'm telling you.
Don't you tear that down. That's too much extra money right there. Bull got to go to a hotel. You might as well get
You
a
have
new
no
house.
clue what they're doing in the house.
Not a hotel. We're in
By the way,
house.
I got a shout out my boy DeMar. I seen him when I was getting the waters in Lodi. He said he's a fan of the show. He watches all the time. So shout out to DeMar.
There you go.
He probably in the chat. Said he gonna be in the chat.
Beautiful. Let's go. A lot of other things to get to today. Certainly some Browns talk. And the Cavaliers break a franchise record, which is where we're going to start in just a minute. Mike?
Yeah, let's get to the Cavs after a quick word from FanDuel. Get ready to tackle NFL action or NBA action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL and NBA all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Bull.
Yes.
And guys, another win for the Cavs last night, and I'm going to toss it to you, but I want to give you guys just a little context to what the Cavs have done on this 9-0 start, which sets a franchise record. And if you want to take this graphic here full, Kenny Atkinson is the first coach to ever win his first 9 games with a new franchise.
Oh, so not just Cavs.
Not just the Cavs, ever. First coach in NBA history to take over a team, win his first 9 games. The Cavs are the second team in NBA history to start 9-0 and score 110 points in each of their first 9 games.
Really?
The Cavs have 4 players averaging 15 or more points. They haven't done that since 30 years ago on the dot. And they have the NBA's #1 most efficient three-point shooting bench in the league right now.
Yeah, and obviously last night, the Pelicans have some guys who were hurt, but Zion Williamson played, Brandon Ingram played last night.
Yep.
The Pelicans had
Jose hit 8 threes in a row?
Yeah, he couldn't be stopped there for a while.
Alvarado was awesome.
The Cavaliers, the worst shooting percentage on the Cavaliers last night, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, was Evan Mobley, who I think was 8 of 19 or whatever.
Yeah, they all shot.
He was barely under 50%. Everybody else on the Cavs, I believe, shot 50% or better. I mean, this is absurd what this team is doing. We're now at the 12% mark of the season, or 11%, whatever. I mean, it's a significant amount of games. 9-0. And playing Golden State tomorrow. I mean, how exciting is that going to be?
I'm going now.
You going?
Yeah, you got to, right?
The
must-have game.
Did we work out the floor seats yet?
No. Come on, man. I wish.
So the more they win, the less likely we got a chance to get on.
No. Right? McNuggets already he promised me for Christmas that he was getting us on this floor.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
I didn't say for Christmas. I said come later in the season we could explore that. But if they keep winning, if they're 82-0, it's going to be harder and harder to get those scores.
What do you got, some rich benefactor over there? What's happening?
No, I'm going to talk to the Cavs about.
He's a donor.
The Cavs are going to hook us up with floor seats?
Dude.
I have one connection of floor seats. I can see it for a random game.
I like
it. Tickets. They have 4, by the way. They have 4 floor seats. So I can't bring everybody.
Do you know what our record was through 9 games last year was?
Last season, I could tell you.
Yeah.
It wasn't 9-0.
No kidding.
Last season,
6-3.
I'm gonna say 5-4.
6-3.
I'm doing the mental math here. Last season, they started out.
And you're struggling, Mike.
9 games, 4-5, and they beat Golden State in their 9th game, ironically.
4, 5. So was it the coach? I guess when we all sat there and said it's more than the coach, I guess they wasn't wrong.
Well, I mean, to this point, we got a long season to go. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. But to this point, the Cavs at the end of last season told you this. We blame the coach. This team's good enough, and we blame the coach. And right now, they look right.
I tell you what, they had late in that game, they had a series where the ball didn't even touch the ground. Nobody drove. It swung so well, and I think Jared might have finished it with a dunk. But it was like, y'all look like the Spurs. I like playing like Greg Popovich's team, man. It's just beautiful to see. And then, shout out my boy Evan Mobley. Listen, I criticized you a week ago because of some selfish decisions that you made. Actually, that wasn't a week ago. I think that was Tuesday. Criticized you Tuesday.
And by selfish decisions, you mean it cost you a parlay?
Yes, it did. Yeah. Yes, it did. So
hit a 6-teamer last night, all Cavs.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
You hit 6.
You both hit.
I hit
one, too.
Listen,
I needed Donovan to hit that last and one, man. Because I needed him over 23.5. He had 21. With a minute to go, he had 21.
I needed him for a dub. So the funniest part about last night, that's why I had to represent the Cavs today, because y'all just, not only did y'all win and y'all started 9-0, y'all hit this parlay for me. But the interesting thing is we get to the end of the game, and I got 4 legs that I need to be hit. I need Evan to score, Jared to score, Brandon Ingram to score, and Donovan to score. 4 people. And it's
how much time left?
This is 3 minutes.
Okay.
It's 3-minute mark. And it came down to Jared scored, Donovan scored, Brandon Ingram scored. So my wife is looking. I let her in on it, I need these 4. So she's sitting there watching it, and every time one of them scores, she gives me a high five. So now we waiting on Evan. And my man Darius Garland, listen, this is how I know you watched the show, because you knew that I supported you when you was down. My man Darius Garland get the ball, come down, fake the pass, get him to bite, then throw the underhand to Evan. Evan catch it, dunk it, get my parlay. Woo! Boy, the Cavs look good, man. Hey, we going 82-0. I mean, Golden State is tough, but I do think right now the way that the Cavs is playing, It's going to be interesting because Kenny Atkinson's coming from Golden State, so he knows the in and outs. They know they know how to probably defeat what Kenny's doing. So I guess who plays the better defense is going to win this game.
Yeah, put the total at like 245.
And the Warriors,
you think?
It's going to be super high.
Warriors beat the Celtics last night.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Steph Curry played, so like assuming Steph plays on Friday, right?
He's off the injury report.
So I'm assuming he plays. I mean, this is the game of the year in the NBA so far, which is insane.
I feel like they way better.
What's Golden State's record? 6-3?
7-1.
I feel
Really?
I feel like the Cavs is
still
way better.
Is this nationally televised?
That's fine, but you got the Steph Curry cachet, man.
I mean, Steph is nice, but when it comes to it, Draymond, not really. Here's the difference. Evan Mobley is 7 feet, and now that he is playing with a different type of swag, a different type of basketball feel, now he's a mismatch. I mean, I like Draymond Green, but he can't do nothing. Draymond Green, same size as me. You guys think Draymond's going to try to do something a little dirty tomorrow?
He gonna try to punk him though.
Yeah,
but
he gonna test him. It'll be a good test for Evan. If he can withstand the mental stuff that Draymond gonna try to play with him, and he's still dominant, like that means to me he's truly arrived. Because Draymond, whether you like him or not, you got to give him his respect. He's a great defensive player. So I would like to see Evan be able to bang against him in the paint.
The way they playing together is just so fascinating because Jason Lloyd was talking about it the other day, and I was with him last year. I said I just don't know if Evan Mobley and Jared Allen can play on the same time on the same court, especially in crunch time because they don't space the floor. But now that they've made him more of an elbow playmaker, and now that Evan Mobley has the option to push pace early, the Cavs are getting a lot of easy layups in transition because you got two bigs that can really run the floor. Jared Allen has a lot of space. He's getting a lot of dunks, moving around. And then Ty Jerome, there was a little shaky.
Earl's boy.
Yeah. Shout out to Earl. His boy done came up. And when it was shaky,
he came off that bench.
He came off the bench and gave him that punch. He hit a couple threes. I think that he's a unsung type guy. And Jason talked about maybe they move him because I think the Cavs are over the luxury tax by a little bit. Ty Jerome. And I said, oh no.
But hold on. Jason had to clarify this on the Cavs show.
Okay.
He is not saying by any means that Ty Jerome is a guy that's going to be moved. He's saying the Cavs currently are like $2 million over the first apron of luxury tax. If you're going to be over the luxury tax, you don't go in by $2 million. You go essentially up. It doesn't make sense to start
But he did say Ty Jerome the other day.
He just threw out a contract that in theory fits. He wasn't saying Ty Jerome's the most likely. He was just saying Ty Jerome makes $2.5 million. If you shed a Ty Jerome, you're under that.
Do they have any useless players that are making that much money?
No.
You can figure it out, or you can pair guys like. Once again, I'm just throwing a name out there for the sake. I'm not saying this, but you could trade Karis LeVert, who makes 16 for a guy.
Yeah, you're trading Karis right now. No.
I'm just throwing.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Just
better throw out you need to throw out another man.
Yeah.
Now that Mike just made that more confusing.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
Now I'm saying trade Karis LeVert.
No, I'm just saying you got to get.
Well, don't bring him up if you're not saying him.
It ain't nobody at the end of the bench. What's Tristan Thompson, man?
This is the problem. When you get good, it's going to be hard for him to do anything because now people like Bull is actually watching.
Well, here's what I said. Here's what I said on Tuesday. So we all said the Cavs can't start their clock yet, right? They want to do it till the extensions kick in, which is next year. But if they are 9-0, 10-0, 11-0, if they feel like they can compete for a championship, you can't kick that down the road. You got to do the opposite,
right?
And start the clock now.
That's true.
Because your championship window is not guaranteed in 5 years. It could be this year.
It's a good point. I don't want to hear about them getting rid of a player that's helping them, even if he's just helping them a little bit. They're 9-0. We're getting into the mode where we're gonna expect them to win for a title
every game and contend for a title.
Especially what's they schedule upcoming? They
all I know is the Warriors they got a game Sunday.
They have the Nets Saturday.
They had a game.
Okay,
that's
Saturday.
Bulls on Monday. They play back to back.
Oh,
those teams stink, right?
Yeah.
No, the Nets are frisky. The Bulls stink, and then they have
Nets are like 500.
They have the 76ers on Wednesday in Philly in Embiid's first game of the year.
Okay.
That would be interesting.
With some other injury.
That would be. You need to stop that. You need to stop.
He's soft. What are you going to do?
Embiid?
Yeah.
He's also awesome.
He is awesome. Yeah.
But he's soft.
But he's a unicorn, dude. I mean, there's a couple
soft,
of them in the league.
But he's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, I do want to say one thing about Kenny Atkinson is he's getting so much out of the bench right now. And the one thing that's wild to me, we talk about JB Bickerstaff a lot and, the job that he did or didn't do with our core four. Well, first off, the core four are all playing a lot better, certainly together. Garland is like a different guy. Mobley is like a different guy. But, dude, you're bringing Sam Merrill off the bench as basically your number one guy off the bench. And he is playing 15 to 20 minutes a night, roughly.
Yeah.
This is a guy who's the same player as he was last year who would go from playing 20 minutes to a DNP for 4 games.
I know, it's weird.
So, that to me tells me all I need to know about JB Bickerstaff in the field for this roster in the bench. Karis LeVert, all of a sudden, look at that game last night. He was fantastic last night.
Yeah. I believe the bench was 50% from 3, weren't they?
Last night?
I think the bench shot 50% from 3.
Let's do it real quick.
And it was a lot of threes.
Niang was 1 for 5. LeVert was 2 for 4. Jerome,
3
2 for
9.
2.
Jerome what?
2 for 2.
That's 5 for 11.
Merrill 3 for 6.
That's 8 for 17.
And Porter Jr. 1 for 1.
9 for 18. Yeah, it's 50%. So you get 50% off the bench shooting threes? You're going to win every time.
Mikey, how are they hiding Merrill defensively?
They're not. He's actually turned into a really intelligent defender. Now, he's not going to lock down Jalen Brunson one-on-one for 10 straight possessions, but he's in the right spot all the time. They're being more aggressive on the wings with their perimeter defenders because they have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley roaming the paint in case they do get blown by. But Merrill's taken on that as a personal challenge this year. He's talked about it a ton. And he's done, in my opinion, not just a serviceable, but a pretty good job staying in front of guys. Good offense is going to beat good defense every time.
Right.
You just got to make it a difficult shot. And more often than not, he's done a really good job forcing guys into counters instead of getting to their primary.
And with defense, you don't have to be great. You just got to be competent.
So you
just can't be a liability on the floor.
So they still kind of using JB's philosophy on defense?
They're not using JB's anything.
That's what they did last year.
They're switching a ton more with everybody. If you notice, Jared Allen, they switched with Evan Mobley last year. Very rarely on certain occasions would they actually switch big and little with Jared Allen in a pick and roll. They're doing that constantly this year and saying, hey, Jared, you're a great defender on the perimeter. We're going to make – and he did it against Dame late in the game and forced Dame to kick it to the corner on a play where he thought he had an opportunity to drive, and Jarrett shut him down.
You know what I noticed? I usually watch the game, so I watch the game locally. Then I always like to go back to YouTube because I like to hear the away team's announcers, like the announcers for the other squad. And they talk about –
Don't you got League Pass?
No, I got League Pass. I got the FanDuel app. Okay. The FanDuel, it's called a FanDuel network.
Formerly known as Ballot.
Yeah, so I got that. So I usually watch on the app, and then I go back again and watch the YouTube short and condensed version. And I listened to the Pelicans announcers, and they talked about how much
my boy Joel Myers.
Yeah, I like them two dudes.
Great.
I worked with him a couple games.
They talk about how it was a nightmare for the Pelicans because they kept getting switched off on Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and Zion Williamson couldn't get to the rack. They couldn't, contested. Brandon Ingram hit some tough shots, but it was times where, Evan Mobley's like here in his face. These are contested, tough shots. And they're like, listen, the Cavs is not a mirage. These guys got guards. They got length. They run the floor. They are contenders.
I do think Zion did really well late in that game.
Late. Yeah.
Like he was putting it was like give him the ball and he was going to the paint and he was getting and-ones and all kind of things.
Oh yeah. By the way, did you notice that Zion's got a little Greg Oden going on? Like aging, very.
With the beard.
He looks old as hell right now.
Yeah.
His face in
the beard.
I don't know, man.
Off. I ain't gonna lie.
It's like he's 40.
Zion, man,
how many points he finished with last night?
Zion?
Yeah,
he had 29.
He is so. I don't know how to feel. I just don't know. Like, is he disappointing to me?
You feel kind.
I feel like
coming out of Duke.
He's just never healthy. He hasn't been healthy enough. That's the biggest issue.
He's not. If he gets under the basket, I've never seen a 6'4" guy just dominate like that.
He's not 6'4".
Oh, Zion's like I feel
he's 6'7".
He's like 6'6", 6'7".
I feel like he's 6'3.5". I feel like he's Charles Barkley.
By the way, 12 days from now, the Cavs play in Boston.
Big time match.
That's going to be wild.
Question for you guys. So the game was tied at half. And in the third quarter, the Cavs had their breakout quarter, scored 40 points in the third quarter. The bench we mentioned earlier, mentioned again, they played a terrific third quarter. It was the first time, at least in maybe early this season, where the Cavs hadn't had some sort of lead at halftime, and they were kind of forced to make some mini adjustments. Tyvis, we talked about Atkinson, but knowing that their backs weren't against the wall, it's halftime. But to come out and put on a performance from an offensive standpoint like we saw in the third quarter yesterday, in a game where at least early shots weren't falling to the level they had been, I'm running out of ways to describe it other than I continue to be impressed and more impressed and more impressed by what this team's doing.
No, they trust the system. That's what it is. They trust their guys. Just because it's not falling in the first half, the good news is, like I said, what I like about this team is it's not all dependent on Donovan anymore. And for last night's calls, it wasn't none of the starters. Ty Jerome was the one that came in and brought the thing back to life with what he did in the second quarter. Once you got that thing even again, it's like, all right, y'all, let's go out here and let's shake this off, continue to trust the system. And then everybody started to come alive. Donovan started to make his shots. Evan, the only bad thing about Evan is he got in foul trouble, so he obviously missed a good chunk of that game in the second half. But Jared Allen continued to dominate. And the only thing I didn't like is that Zion started to get off in the second half. Outside of that, offensively, I thought they were still moving the ball great. Sam Merrill came in and hit the shots. Karis LeVert looked great. Like, it's so many different guys that can step in and be that momentum swing, to where last year it was like, if Donovan ain't doing it and Darius Darius was probably out at this point, so it was all just Donovan. If Donovan ain't facilitating it or he not scoring, we're not going to have any offense. And that's not the case. There's so many different guys that's contributing that it becomes overwhelming to teams at that point. It's like, dude, and you can't slack off nobody because they can hurt you.
There's no more of the come down the court, dribble, like ISO basketball, where in the past you had just Donovan trying to play hero ball. And there's been so much less of that. I mean, I love the fact that Kenny came from the Warriors because he knows how ball movement should work and how offenses should basically play in this day and age of the NBA. So we didn't see that last year. You saw so much more stagnant offense. Yeah, there were fun moments where they get up and down the court because we've got good players. But this year, who cares? I mean, tonight could be Evan. He could score 30.
Right.
Could be Jared Allen. Could be Garland.
I'm waiting on the Moby.
Could be Karis LeVert.
I'm waiting on the Moby 30 game. Oh, yeah. Earl, you out of line. Earl is out of line. Earl's harassing me. He wants everybody to know that Ty Jerome is taking over the keys of the franchise from Donovan Mitchell. He want me to put the word out that we back up.
Didn't Earl say last year Donovan Mitchell's better than LeBron? Didn't he say that at some point?
He said, yeah.
You know what? I look at the whole coaching thing. And sometimes you're just a starter coach. Sometimes starter coaches is like your college girlfriend. Yeah, we dated in college. It was cool. You meet the parents. They take you out to eat. But you look at it. You're like, hold on. We going to do this forever? Nah, dog, we not about to do it forever. You about to go to another city and get a job. I'm going to go to this other city and get a job. We're going to try to play the long distance thing for about 3-4 months and figure out, you know what? We was just around each other. It was good while it lasted, man. And then you move on.
That's harsh, G.
It is like that, though. It's sometimes you get in a relationship and that person prepares you for the next person.
And
it's just what it is.
And usually it's the woman that's smart enough to dump me. That was all right, man. This is all cool. I need to upgrade. It's all about these W-2s at this point. Now listen. Now if you got JB Bickerstaff, JB is great because he can get young guys to buy in and try to play hard. He's a motivator. That's what his skill set is. That's his archetype. But that runs thin when you start having guys like Donovan Mitchell. That don't work on them. You got to give Donovan Mitchell a plan. You got to have X's and O's.
Yeah.
And you're going to have something in the system that says, I can get you to the next level and beat the Celtics. He didn't have that. People started to tune that out. And when you watch the basketball last year, it's just high pick and roll. No motion, no nothing. Evan Mobley is just sitting under the basket looking around. Jared Allen is a glorified, garbage type dude where he's just putbacks. And then you put so much stress on people like Darius Garland because now you're asking them to deliver or create. at the end of the shot clock the entire game against guys bigger. It just don't work. So, we've seen that type of ball played at the highest level with Kyrie and LeBron, and they ISO'd their way right to a championship because they're that talented. But when you ain't got those two guys and you got, a little tier less than that, it don't work the same way.
That's the difference, right? When you have LeBron, you could really do anything.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron, you got LeBron. Donovan Mitchell's a great player, but he's not LeBron.
Don't tell Earl that.
Yeah, that's right. But you have a lot of talent on this team. Now you have what appears to be the right coach for this team. It feels like the sky's the limit.
I just don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
No,
I love Kenny.
We're not.
I mean, listen, Stephen Vogt got off to a great start. I mean, maybe a little different, but still,
Well, he made it to the conference finals.
I was about to say.
Right. So, I mean, that's the thing. But I do remember there was a time this year where they fell back, and we were critical of Vogt. So I'm sure that at some point Kenny Atkinson's going to have a tough stretch this year.
There will be, you'd think.
It could be injuries or whatever.
Yeah.
It happens. Like, you're playing 82 games. It's a game of attrition at times.
Are you insinuating that we're not going 82-0?
We're not going 82-0. Mikey, you were here yesterday. Mikey wants to see if we could go 67-15.
Yeah.
Mikey,
good math? Old Fox math?
Is this team more comparable to the Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton Pistons, the San Antonio Spurs with Duncan and Ginobili, or the first Golden State Warriors iteration? What style do they play most like?
Spurs, right?
Stylistic and roster.
Spurs more stylistically from a stand. See, I like the Pistons comparison in terms of the roster makeup.
Yeah.
But the Pistons scored 74 points a game.
Oh, they were
the NBA was so different back then that stylistically speaking.
And Donovan Mitchell was way better than anybody the Pistons had. No?
Yeah, that's why I'm just saying I like they have the two legit bigs and Rasheed and Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of different guards kind of interchangeable.
Chauncey.
Warriors in that first iteration, they revolutionized basketball. The Cavs aren't revolutionizing basketball. So of the three, I'd say the Spurs. One more thing on the Cavs, and then we could pivot. But the last two games, Dean Wade's been out with an illness. We'll see what he does on Friday. We got to give Isaac Okoro a real quick shout-out for stepping and filling into that three-role. His numbers don't jump off the screen, but he has a team high in terms of plus-minus when his minutes on the court. Over the last two games, he's filled in. Only took 3 shots last night, made all 3.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike.
His plus-minus is better than Ty Jerome's?
Over the last 2 games combined.
I'm curious.
And last night, too. Ty Jerome was only +1 last night.
I'm curious. I hear the plus. Unlike football and baseball, I don't really know, what are the best stats in terms of analytics for basketball. Is plus minus really a good stat? It seems like a stat that gets brought up that's overrated. I don't know.
I don't think it's an end-all, be-all by any means. But I do think if you look at it over the course of a prolonged period of time, if your plus minus is in the higher numbers and the pluses, that means when you're on the court, your team's generally better. And there are certain guys, and it's not perfect because the rotations and who you're playing with matters a ton.
Yeah.
But I do think it matters for something. I don't think it's a useless stat. It's not my favorite. I like offensive rating, defensive rating, and net rating better. But plus minus does give you a little information.
Okay, very good. All right, we'll leave the Cavs there for now. We'll get back to it later. We got Mike Doss joining us at noon. And now we got to talk about the terrible team in Cleveland.
We are. And tomorrow, I just want to give people a little preview. We do 90 minutes on YouTube, 30 minutes on KYC. We're going to do almost the KYC show like a Brown show, except we're previewing it for the Cavs-Warriors. We're going to blow up the Cavs-Warriors matchup.
That's a big
tomorrow.
game.
I promise you guys, I made a dummy skeleton rundown already.
Yeah.
We're going to do about, of the 2 hours, 65% Cavs-Warriors preview.
I feel like anyway, go ahead.
All right, let's get to some Browns talk as I mark the time down for Anthony. Our Browns topic of discussion today is brought to us by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you can get your money back in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money, even if one of the picks doesn't hit. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on Prize Picks for $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even have to win to receive the bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game when you want. So Andrew Berry spoke to the media yesterday, and we discussed immediately afterwards his comments. But Tyvis, you weren't here, so I want to start this with you. I want to take a bigger picture outlook on some things Andrew Berry talked about yesterday. He didn't specifically commit to Deshaun Watson as the quarterback of the future. He also didn't definitely say he won't be back. When you look at this team in whole, do they need a complete tear down and rebuild to get back into contention, or do you believe a few tweaks here and there, they could be back in playoff contention next season?
First of all, I've never been a fan of a total rebuild. I think that they just need a couple of positions here and there. Mainly, I think that they need to address I think they need an explosive wide receiver. Quarterback position.
A true number one, right?
Yeah, they need a true number one. One that guys will be like, we got a game plan for them. If they get that unlocks Judy, that unlocks Cedric Tillman. They got to have somebody that, like, if they had Amari Cooper when he was like 24, like, that would be perfect because teams would be like, oh, this guy can do everything.
Not a lot of options there.
No.
I mean, T. Higgins is a free agent. You consider him a legit number one?
No, I don't.
DK Metcalf, then. Maybe they make a trade for him. There's nobody else. T. Higgins is the best wide receiver on free agency. So if you don't consider him a true number one, then they're going to have to trade.
Or they're going to have to hit in the draft.
Okay.
Which this would be the first time they would draft a wide receiver in the first round since Corey Coleman.
Yeah, how'd that turn out?
Jesus.
Well, that wasn't. AB didn't make
well,
that.
Well, true. AB's done a great job drafting wide receivers.
Talk to him.
Man, we had the worst GM. Ray Farmer wanted receivers who were 5
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. The floor. Mike gave me the floor.
Go ahead. You got the floor back.
As far as if they find the wide receiver, I think that unlocks a lot of things. And as hard as it might say, you got to assess the running back position as well. I'm sorry. Like I know Nick Chubb is beloved. You can bring Nick Chubb back, but I think you still need a dynamic running back because I don't think Jerome Ford is that guy. He hasn't shown to be that guy, even with the opportunities that he's had. So I think you need that guy still at running back. That you can still interchange Nick Chubb in there because I do think Nick Chubb still earns the respect. He still is going to have moments where he looks like he can be all the way back, but you need an every down back that also can be very good in that run game. And outside of that, I think you got to tweak your coaching staff. I think you got to look and figure out why did we go from being a really good run team for the past 3 years and now all of a sudden we can't formulate a way to run the ball. So I think you got to find you a good run game coordinator to bring in.
We had Stump Mitchell.
I'm just throwing my opinion out. No, Stump wasn't the run game coordinator.
No, I know, but I'm saying we had a good running back coach. Bill Callahan was here. Those guys aren't here anymore.
Yeah. So I think you got to assess that.
Did you ignore quarterback because it's obvious that they need it? Or
I'm not. You're
saying besides quarterback?
Yeah, I figured that was a given.
Look,
Gee, go ahead.
This is devastating. You're right, Bull. Shout out for you for looking at this. It's looking real bleak. You say you need
the free agent receivers?
No, free agent everything. Here's your options for quarterback: Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco is in Indianapolis. They will not let him go. Jacoby Brissett, we already had. Mac Jones, Andy Dalton, Mason Rudolph, and Carson Wentz.
Let me ask you about Sam Darnold while we're here for a second. You mentioned Sam Darnold.
That would be the name.
If Sam Darnold has a great season, like they just drafted J.J. McCarthy in the first round.
And they love him.
They love him.
They love McCarthy.
Are they going to move on from Sam Darnold?
Yeah, they probably will. I mean, they're not going to pay Darnold because Darnold could get paid starter money.
Right, he's going to get. Now he's got to finish the season off because he's had a great first half. But if he tails off, in the second half,
here's the thing.
Then he gonna lose money. That's all that means.
The one thing I would say is that JJ's on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
And if you let's say the Vikings win the NFC North.
Yeah.
And they go to the playoffs.
I'm not letting them walk.
You can't.
No, you better not.
You can't.
And there's a good chance they're going to do that. Even maybe not win the North because the Lions are there. But
could they franchise?
They could.
Good.
I can see him doing that.
That's a crazy salary now, though.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, but as Dustin said, they're not paying the
Here's
other
one
quarterback
rookie
any money.
Who cares? I mean, so what's the number? Like
And
35
McCarthy's
million?
coming off an injury where he misses the whole. I don't know. What's he going to be like next year?
Yeah, he's not. Take him off the board.
Yeah.
If Darnold has that good year, and we want him, the Vikings aren't letting him
No.
go. Not for next year.
Yeah.
He,
Right.
Now,
he
fair.
fit the offense.
The
though.
franchise tag, Dustin, by the way.
What's it, 35? That's my guess.
Well, for quarterback this season, it was 38. It'll be a little high, about 40 million.
Yeah, but for
That was
1
close.
year,
Who cares?
Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
I
in
mean,
the
you
receiver
got
market,
an owner that says pay it.
receiver market is worse than the quarterback market.
I mean, T.
T. Higgins is number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Amari Cooper. You already gave him up. Chris Godwin.
How old
old.
is he?
Stephon Diggs.
Getting
old. DeAndre Hopkins. Old. Deontay Johnson was never that good.
I mean, any of those top 5 guys are better than
What we got.
the Browns'
but
best receiver. But
Hollywood Brown, Keenan Allen is old.
No.
Elijah Moore is 9, and Mike Williams is 10.
yeah.
Ain't nobody in that list.
T.
moving
Higgins
the
is
needle.
the best because he's the youngest, and we don't know can he be a legit number 1 or not. But he's been injury prone. The best option is the trade, or the draft, or getting DK Metcalf in a trade. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Seattle may not want to pay him big money. I don't know. But he's a legit number 1.
And there is no. So that's the hard part about the Browns. There is no just easy. Let me go down the yellow brick road and find a quarterback. Let me go get this receiver because he's free agent. Like no, and plus you might not even have a top 5 pick. So. No, they're not 1 pick away. They got multiple holes that they need to figure out. They got multiple guys that you're like, listen, they still need another defensive end.
Yeah. But here's the question. Here's what really Mike is trying to get at. Do the Browns need to can they just not start over, but like if you say a complete rebuild, that means you're trading Myles Garrett, you're trading David Njoku, you're moving on from Nick Chubb. Like, are you doing those things? Or are you just trying to get better, keep the key core guys you have, hope you can hit on a quarterback, whether it's free agency trade or the draft?
You know, the biggest problem with all of this is the development aspect of it all. Because I just feel like if you develop properly, you wouldn't be in this conversation. Like you wouldn't need you've already utilized picks to get certain things, but you haven't developed them to be act good on Sundays, and that to me is the problem. Like the reason why
do they have enough talent? Like,
think about it.
Did we overrate their talent?
I don't know. Like you got a right guard. You got a guard that you drafted in the 3rd round, right?
Zinter?
Yeah.
Zinter was 3rd round.
And he was not. He got in there and he was not that good. Do you
That was
think
only 1 game.
he was? No, he started a couple of games. I
Did
think.
he?
Started 3 games.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even realize that.
When Teller was on the IR.
He was not. He did not
true.
do well.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you make a mistake in some of the coaches that you hired? Like, because they not, the run game ain't that great. Passing protection and run game ain't good because of the offensive line. Like,
How do you?
Mike Hall still ain't made a splash.
No.
How do
Like
you,
what? But these is 2nd and 3rd round picks.
They got a run game coordinator who came from UConn, and I ain't talking basketball. First year, how do you hire a first-time NFL coach and say, "Here you go, here's your running game, take over"? There you go. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a fireable offense.
So do you think they need to blow it up?
Yeah, that's not fair, though, dude.
Hold on, watch this.
You're saying because he came from UConn, he's not a good coach. That's so
But
not
doesn't mean
fair.
he's not a good.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing.
I get it. If you think he's inexperienced, UConn has nothing to do with it.
Think about this. Would you hire a general manager and he's never had experience in the NFL ever from college and say pick the first pick overall?
Probably not.
Would you hire a first-time head coach who has never coached in the NFL or had any NFL experience and say, here, you're the coach today?
Didn't Cliff Kingsbury do that in Arizona?
And he got fired.
Chip Kelly, right?
Chip Kelly tried. He got fired.
Mike, what's our ranking?
Every
the
coach
rushing
gets
game?
fired,
What's
dude.
our rushing
Yeah.
ranking?
But
One sack tie.
But my thing was that is and the reason I say that, okay, is fireable offense hyperbole? Yes. I would say I will take it down a notch and say
29th.
egregious, because what happens
he's not 32nd, so the other 3 is egregious.
Yes, there is because you took what was a strength of the team, right, You took what was
you act like Bill, you act like he fired Bill.
Huh?
He didn't fire Bill. Bill left.
Bill left, and you had no other options. Did you not?
It did seem like it seems like an odd choice. I don't agree that it's a fireable offense, but it seems like an odd choice. But let me ask you, Dustin.
Ask me this.
What do you think they need to blow it up? If you're Andrew Berry, are you trading Myles Garrett? Because Myles Garrett's going to get draft capital.
Like Myles Garrett, it does suck, but I think they probably have to, and it does stink. But because of the poor decisions they've made, they have to make a decision it sucks. I mean,
Myles Garrett can get you back some of those. They have not had first and second round talent in the draft for a number of years.
Yeah.
You gonna trade
because of the Deshaun Watson deal.
You gonna trade Myles?
I
just can't.
Can't do it.
The reason I can't trust Myles is because I don't trust the development of the coaches. If they was developing guys, and I knew that we can get somebody we'll get somebody that can be that maybe one day can be as good as Myles.
Unfortunately,
I can't get rid of a guy that's a guarantee. I just can't. I cannot.
Yeah, you're not living in the reality here, guys. I mean, because the Browns have made such a poor decision. Like, in life, there's consequences. This sucks. They're going to have to trade Myles Garrett, I believe, because they don't have any assets to help build them up. They don't have a quarterback. And until you have a quarterback, what's Myles Garrett do? He's Joe Thomas. That's it.
That's true.
That's the problem when you talk about trading players and you get to a point. My thing is, there is consequences. There's consequences for you fumbling the bag. If it's between Myles Garrett and Andrew Berry, guess what's easier to get rid of?
Well, I guess.
But my thing is still, even if you trade Myles Garrett, you trust him to get the right quarterback?
Well, that's the bigger question, and the answer to that is no.
All right.
Then you gotta find. Well, that's the thing. Are the players not good enough?
Well, you asked me a question about blowing it up, like with players.
Right.
I feel like they need to blow it up internally.
So you think Berry should be fired?
I think he's made a lot of poor decisions, and the Watson decision, you can't fire the owner because he can't fire himself. Someone's head's going to roll, unfortunately, in this situation, and it's probably Stefanski and Berry.
I saw on The Athletic.
I don't think that's fair, by the way. It's Stefanski, that part.
I agree. I was saying the other day on my podcast that Berry should be fired, and I said I wouldn't fire Stefanski, but a couple of people made the point of saying, but if you fire the GM, you got to give him a chance to hire his own coach, which is fair.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So I would fire Berry. I would hire a new GM. If that GM thinks Kevin Stefanski's a good coach, wants to stick with him, that's fine. If he wants to move on, I get it. But yeah, I mean, the Browns are in a tough spot. They have wasted. You traded a ton of high draft capital to get Deshaun Watson. You've gotten nothing out of Deshaun Watson and missed an opportunity. Like, who knows who they would have drafted? Now, maybe they would have screwed up those picks and the Browns would still be in bad shape. Mm-hmm. But as they've done many times before. But who knows what they could have hit on in those draft picks.
Well, here's the thing also, too.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are trying to separate the two. If you're going to get mad at the fact that the Browns got rid of Baker Mayfield, right? You got mad. People would be mad. Oh, well, Baker could have. Who was the coaching GM who made the decision that he wasn't good enough? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand why we don't make the same step. Like, if people say, well, it's ownership. Listen, if I hire you to make a decision and say, listen, he's up for a contract, I need to know, is he good enough for the extension? And either the coach and the general manager both came to the conclusion, no, we need to go this way.
Right.
Why are you not held accountable for that?
I think they're going to be. I was mentioning, I was looking at The Athletic this morning, and they had a column, what to expect from every team in the NFL the rest of the season. And every team's beat reporter wrote like a couple of paragraphs.
Did Jason Lloyd write this?
No, Jason works as little as possible. It was Zach Jackson that wrote, and he basically
between Zach and Jason. I mean, who wants to work more, or who wants to work less?
That's right.
I'm kidding. They do a very nice job.
Zach did write that basically said Andrew Berry's going to get fired. I mean, reading between the lines of what he wrote. And unlike like me on TV or the radio, like Zach's not prone to just kind of throwing stuff out there like that.
No, Zach, I respect Zach because Zach, even though people don't want to hear it, Zach tell it like it is.
Oh yeah,
like he's unbiased. He just straight tell you what I see. This is what it's gonna be.
So I think Berry's barely wrong. Now that could lead to Stefanski getting fired too, which some of us think, what are you going to do? That's the consequences of the situation. He may get fired. But I think Andrew Berry's going to get fired at the end of this year. I absolutely don't think you can rely on him to find the next quarterback. I don't think you can trust him.
If they fire AB, I think that. See, I don't know how to phrase this. I wouldn't completely get rid of him out of the whole thing because I think he does do a great job on the financial side.
Anybody, you can always find another nerd to do that.
No, but I think he's an asset there. I do. Don't look at me like that. That dude know how to finagle. He don't know how to finagle the cap space.
There's no in corporate America.
I ain't said he got to make. He might not.
No such thing as a promotion demotion. Hey, you were the GM. Are gonna move you down to accounting.
I'm just saying.
Nah, bro. I'm just saying. Y'all
are dead wrong.
There's a million nerds out there that can run the cap. It's fine.
Tell them.
Don't
you respect his ability to maneuver?
They gonna make him a special advisor?
No.
I'm not a fan of just firing people. I don't do that.
Andrew Berry's going to be fine. He's made a lot of money. He's a smart guy. He'll be fine. Listen. Here's how they've handled the cap. Jimmy has said, spend whatever you want. I mean, Jimmy's a criminal and a terrible owner, but at least he spends money.
I disagree with that. He's a great owner. Thank you again for my checks on.
And by greatest
owner we ever had.
No,
if that's true about the money thing, then why do we have to sell Myles Garrett then for those bad decisions? If the cap
because you need more draft capital.
Because money, we just went through all the free agents. There's no one out there. Like you need draft picks.
Yeah. You ain't gonna find no game.
What team builds through free agency? You add a piece if you're close.
The Rams are the only team that really did that.
The Rams won a Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl like that.
But the piece that they added,
it's an outlier,
was
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford. Is there a Stafford on that list?
Everybody can go for a price.
The Browns tried it with Deshaun Watson. At the time, I and probably almost everybody thought it was a great idea. It didn't work out.
We got bamboozled.
But now they've got it. Now they've got to do it another way, and they're probably, as much as it stinks, Myles Garrett is old enough that I don't know that they're going to win with him anyway. You can't win. They're not going to win without a quarterback.
They should have traded Joe Thomas at one point. Like that would suck. I love Joe, and he's an all-time great.
He didn't want to get traded.
I know he didn't. That's kudos to him. But
and you know what? Dustin, that hurt my heart because Joe Thomas didn't get traded. We sat here and went 1-31. That man sacrificed. He never played one. Let that sink in. One of the greatest offensive linemen players in the league history. Never played one playoff game.
That's crazy.
He stayed here, and his sacrifice was all of them picks we got. The 3 first-round picks. All the guys that we got now that are pillars. The Denzel Wards, the Njokus, the Myles Garretts, the Nick Chubbs. All those guys that we got because we was 1-31 and we had multiple picks. We are sitting here today, and his sacrifice got us one COVID playoff win.
Yeah. All that losing
got us that.
Yeah.
And now we at a point where now you got another generational player in Myles Garrett.
Well, I think
if we trade him, what did we get for that?
I think it might get to a point where we sitting here talking about if we trade Myles. Myles might be the one that pushed the envelope and say, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, well, better they trade him before he gets to that point and then his trade value goes down. If he's demanding a trade,
why would it?
Lord forbid he actually.
Because at the end of the day,
just retires quick.
You could always say
if he hits a quick retire.
The thing about a player saying he want to be traded, you could always say, we got you under contract.
That never works.
Well, I mean, Myles Garrett could basically beg for a new deal too if he wants traded.
That's true.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
I just think he's the only way they can they have to what do they have in terms of young, high drafted players?
Well, they mortgage the future, and now they've got to foreclose.
That's right. Yeah.
So y'all's consensus is trade Myles Garrett, fire AB.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Well, let me give. The pushback is going to be from AB. If I'm AB, I'm sitting here saying, "Hey, listen, Jimmy. I mean, I know you like the offense, right? You know, you're an offensive guy. Have you liked what Kevin's giving you?
You think he'd do that?
Man! Hold on, I'm just saying. Do you like what Kevin's giving you? I mean, he's great with medium quarterbacks, but you want a top-notch Pro Bowler, right? Has he turned anybody into a Pro Bowler? They just been on. And by the way, I mean,
AB come off as the type of guy to do that.
But this year, I mean, okay, you're looking at the draft. Which one of these quarterbacks that you will see out there that you just take off and put in this offense and they're great?
By the way, to that point,
that's messed up.
The Browns have to not make the mistake that a lot of bad teams make. And if they don't think any of these quarterbacks are legitimate number one quarterbacks, they cannot draft them. You can't. Too many teams draft a quarterback in the top 10 because they're like, we need a quarterback. We got to try one of these guys. You can't do it unless you're sure. I know you're never sure.
And it's going to be pressure because if you draft a quarterback, the biggest capital that you have is draft picks and hope.
It's a quarterback you could trade for.
If you talk about draft.
Who?
I think I'm saying it's a quarterback that's playing well that I know you could trade for.
Who?
Yep.
And he happens to have chemistry with Kevin.
Who?
Kirk Cousins. Michael Penix got to play at some point. He's only on a 2-year deal.
That's interesting.
That is an interesting one. Now, Cousins is kind of getting old. How old is he now?
Yeah, I think he signed. What did he sign? A 2-year deal with him? He got 2 years left this year, next year with Atlanta.
No, he signed a 4-year deal.
He's got to be 37 years old, right?
But the money is spread out in a very. I'm pulling it up right now. The money is only guaranteed, I think, for the first 2 years.
The Browns are they're not going to. I just don't think they're going to do that again. The problem is, even if it's Sam Darnold or Kirk Cousins, they're already spending a crazy amount of money on a quarterback who's not going to play for them the next 2 years. They're not going to be able to spend a ton of money on another quarterback. They got to get a young quarterback. And it doesn't have to be this year, but they got to get a young quarterback.
And there's this convoluted thing. I don't know. It's even more difficult to identify which quarterback you want if your team does not identify what they want to do. I don't know. What Jameis had last week, it was under center play action game. They came back out of 5 wide. So it would be easy if they said, hey, this is what we are. We're going to run it and envision this quarterback in this type offense. Yeah. So what? I don't know what they want to do.
So what is your feelings of Kevin? So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. You know the Lions OC, Ben Johnson? Mm-hmm. He's going to be like a hot candidate.
He is.
Mm-hmm. Would you be willing to move off Kevin for him?
What you mean, like offensive coordinator?
No, like head coach. He ain't leaving the Lions for offensive coordinator position.
Look, to me, the evaluation for Kevin Stefanski goes the rest of the season. So if the Browns is looking horrible and they go 2-3 or something, he won't survive that level of
I want to know what his contract extension
You'll never
was.
Well, let me ask you guys this.
They would not release that information.
Who do you guys think, forget coming out this year, who of all the college quarterbacks right now, even if they're not coming out this year, who is the most sure thing to be good in the NFL?
Arch Manning.
Arch Manning.
Okay, 2. Dustin?
I don't know, man.
Will Howard. Go Bucks.
No,
I mean, who's the best quarterback? I don't know. I mean, I was big on Quinn Ewers early in the year. I think there's 2 guys that are going to be very interesting because of how they play the game.
This year or ever?
I'm saying right now.
No, period. College football.
I like
Cam Moore and Shedeur Sanders.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
But you don't think Arch Manning is more of a sure thing than those guys, or no?
I don't know, dude. He's a freshman, man.
I got to see Nico another year.
If he didn't have his last name and he has done what he's done so far, we wouldn't be talking about him.
Even when he was in high school.
He's really good. He's really good.
He ran the ball more than he threw the ball. I think he's...
Who, Arch Manning?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's an athlete. He's an athlete.
Wheels. I'm about to say, you ain't see him bounce on the
Funny
dude for
because
like
his 2 uncles are stiff.
We actually have Dane Brugler coming on next week to talk about quarterback prospects.
You can wait 2 more years and get Nico from Tennessee.
Cam Ward does some things that it'd be like.
Yeah, I like.
What's the beef with Cam Ward? Why do we not trust him in the NFL?
I'm like, dang,
because he's like Deshaun.
It's kind of
he's gonna hold the ball, but he's gonna do some scrambling around.
But he's also a lot.
He's
a lot younger than Deshaun Watson, and he hasn't lost his confidence yet, like Deshaun Watson did.
He can sling that rock,
and Deshaun Watson's hurt.
He'll play. He got arm angles. He got pocket presence where he'd be like, he about to get sacked. He just move.
He can throw that.
And he's a runner.
He's not like he ain't Vic. Yeah, he ain't Vic.
He's an extender. Now Shedeur Sanders throws a nice football.
So what's his problem?
He takes a lot of sacks. His offense, but I don't know if the offensive line was one of the worst I've ever seen. He takes some sacks, but he can throw, and he has worked with Pat Shurmur. Now, Pat Shurmur is an NFL coach.
We know that.
So he's worked with him. They got more of a running game, and the problem with Shedeur Sanders is this. Just be honest. It's the cultural impact. Shedeur Sanders is flashy, and his dad
Shedeur is not coming. Yeah. They are not.
and you know how Prime
come here.
He's not going to let him come here.
You know how Prime
gets. It's not like the kid.
Well, unless Deion dictates who the coach is going to be.
Well, that you're right. That could change it.
Deion, you want to coach in the NFL?
Well, he go to Dallas.
You know the Browns, they would do that.
He go to Dallas then, if that was the case.
People would lose their mind.
Oh, my God.
If Deion became the head coach of the Browns?
I don't want to do Ultimate Browns. I'm going to do Ultimate Cavs. I'm switching off that. If he come, I don't want it. Like, listen, man, we already got problems with fathers.
The Browns.
Oh, my God.
The Browns need, like, a calmer situation.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
We got Mike Doss joining us in 1 sec. As soon as he hops on, I'll bring him. But let me get the read out of the way now because we got a few minutes. This is Z-Biotics, guys, and Z-Biotics is the pre-alcohol probiotic drink, and it's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. This byproduct is what causes your rough next morning, not dehydration. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make Z-Biotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Here's how it works. Step 1, drink pre-alcohol. Step 2, drink responsibly. And step 3, enjoy tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/LockedOnNFL to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use LockedOnNFL at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/LockedOnNFL and use promo code LockedOnNFL at checkout for 15% off your order. Mike Doss will join us here in a sec. He just texted me and said he's hopping on, but G, we're going to ask some people to roast your outfit today.
Yeah.
And if you send a super chat with a roast, we will make sure we read them.
Yeah,
Earl's upstairs and directing.
And come with that heat, bro. Don't. It gotta be funny, bro. Don't come in here with that weak stuff, that weak sauce, because the jacket is fire. You just can't wear it.
It is only me monitoring the chat, so I'm gonna see as many as I can, but I can't promise I'll see them all.
Look at that, man. Look at that. That sequence right there, man.
Mm-hmm. Is it bedazzled?
It's bedazzled.
I don't really have a problem with the jacket.
Yeah, jacket's
fire.
I
wouldn't wear it.
Yeah, you can't. Listen, you got to have heart to wear this, bro.
Yeah, I mean, just like this jacket wouldn't look good on you.
I tell you what.
That wouldn't look good on me.
Yeah, that's an extra medium. I'd have to tie it around my waist.
Tyvus, would you wear this jacket?
No.
His wife would see that in the cart and be like,
yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
Is this something the kids is gonna play on? This look like a pinata.
I'm gonna stick to the Cavs.
Is that a faux pas that Tyvus is wearing a basketball Cavs jacket and a Guardians hat?
Absolutely
inappropriate.
Not. No.
Slightly.
Slightly inappropriate.
Come on, Tyvus has. I know Tyvus has a Cavs hat.
Yeah.
We got Doss.
We got with us now. G. Bush's teammate from high school, Dustin's teammate in college. Here he is, Mike Doss. We've had Mike with us before. Mike, what's up, man?
What's up, fellas? Let me make sure I get that little ring off of the video so Tyvus can see my face up close and personal. What's going on, fellas?
Michael Doss.
What's wrong with you?
D Fox, what's up, baby?
Man, if only he had one more button to get up there, you know?
You know my style.
I know. What's going on, brother?
With that button up there.
Not much, man. Just,
Yeah, just selling me out on golf last week, yeah.
Oh, man.
Had a tea time set and everything.
Sorry I had to beat up on you last week.
No, it's okay.
But you got some Pro V1s in a hoodie. You snuck them Pro Vs in.
You know what? Can I say? I gotta say this. So last week, last week in October, before the Nebraska game, I'd never been to Captain's Dinner, so I went down to Captain's Dinner, had a midweek game, so I didn't have a game on Saturday. It was fantastic, but I have to tell this story first. So on Friday, earlier in the week, I texted Doss, let's play golf. And so Doss sets us up tee time at his country club, perfect. Now, the weather was not great to start, but it got beautiful later in the day. Point being, Doss is my hero because he handled the day just like I would do if I was having a friend come to town. Like, he made an itinerary for me, set it up, met him at the golf course, golfed. I mean, I was on scholarship. It was great. The whole day. and on top of the scholarship, bro, golf and food and everything, I got swag.
Oh, he had a swag bag for you?
Well, I went to the pro shop.
Oh, listen, okay.
And on Doss's house account.
That's dope.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, I blessed him, G. Bush. You know how Stark County boys got to take care of Stark County boys. Right. You know what I mean? Got to show love.
Now, Mike, hold on. G. Bush was complaining earlier that he has never been to your house, that Dustin's been to your house, Tyvis has been to your house, but that he's never been to your house. He's a little insulted by this. Not sure how you want to handle it.
He hasn't been to Columbus in 10 years.
I was literally going to say he hasn't driven past Mansfield in probably 10, 15 years.
Right? Hey, like I went to the last time I was in Columbus. This crazy. I was hanging out with LaCharles Bentley, and I said, "Oh, listen, you going way too hard, dog. I ain't got it like that." So I don't go down past, like, we're not going down I-71. I'll go down to go to OU, but I don't be in Columbus all that, to be fair.
Why?
I don't be in Columbus like that.
Why?
I don't do away games. I'm all home games.
I consider both of them my home. So
hey, Doss, we was talking about this. It's kind of funny, man. We was talking the other day. We was talking about safety play. We was talking about how the Browns couldn't get no communication off, right? How the safeties would be delivering the communication and stuff, and they didn't know if they was in cover 1 or cover 3, right? And cover 2 or whatever the case may be. And Dustin brought up the point, and I laughed my tail off because it was facts. He said, well, I had Mike Doss, right? And so when we playing, I'm in the secondary, I turn around and like, Doss, what we doing? And I'm like, yeah, man. I said, he'll tell me we had hand signals and everything. And he's like, yeah, man. So I didn't even have to get in the huddle. Doss would tell me what to do. And I said, but what is the hand signal for when Mike Doss says I'm about to just go do something on my own? Does he let guys like, because I know what's coming. How? What
there was that? No hand signal.
It was just like,
there was no hand signal. He would just look at me and say, Fox, are you on your own? And then I pissed down my leg.
How does that work? Because at every level, like, I laugh because I used to be, I tried to get it off. I said, well, Mike Doss is running his own stuff. I got to give me some numbers. How does that work where you can get that off at every level? Is it just something you see? Because now safeties don't even get picks no more. They have them playing in the parking lot.
Whoa. Chill out.
They do.
They don't.
How was you getting that off?
Well, I mean,
you want me to answer that for you? You want me to answer for you?
I would tell. Yeah, I got you, Fox. So we were students of the game. During the week, we would watch the film together, the secondary and our back seven. Actually, the linebackers at Ohio State, Wilhelm, C. Grant, and those guys, Robert Reynolds, and we would all call the calls. So when we knew it was a play or a formation where it would say deemed for me to make the play, I would go, oh, it's time for Doss to show up. It's actually play might come my way, but then if I seen it even going the other way and I knew I could make the play, I would be like, Fox. I hit him with the rub. Once I rubbed that forearm,
I'm in zero.
Man,
Hey,
you by yourself. You by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I would just go make the play. So no matter, I was a play diagnosis kind of guy. I knew the plays and I schemed guys up. So when I felt that play was coming, I'm just going to make the play. Forget my responsibility. I can have curl flat or whatever, but I know that play is going away. I need to be that extra fit in the run game. I'm going to go make the play versus standing, covering dirt.
How much harder was it in the NFL to know, it seems like in college you knew everything, you knew every play. Was it much harder to do that in the NFL?
Yes, it was very hard, a lot harder on Sundays, especially in a true scheme like Tampa 2. We had Tampa 2, a couple covered 3/cover 9s. So we were a defense where everyone had to be in unison. But in cover 9 or cover 3, where I had a little bit more freedom for curl flat or, tight end coverage, I would know the play would still go the other way. read the scheme and go make the play. And I got yelled at. I actually got cussed out. Coach Tony Dungy, I never forget it. It was my rookie year. We're playing the Carolina Panthers. They got Stephen Davis, big running back. That's the year they go to the Super Bowl. And the Panthers go to the Super Bowl and lose. But I'm coming down. I'm in the run fit game all week. I know I'm going to have a great game. And there was a couple plays where I came out of my defense or I beat the Mike linebacker. The Mike linebacker might have been supposed to spill it to me, and I would beat him, and I made the tackle. So on TV, Hobby Long, I get player of the game on TV. I grade out on TV, player of the game, Mike Doss, 12 tackles, sack, 1 PBU. And I come in the film on Monday morning.
60%?
And, I got like a 55% from on the defensive score. I'm looking at Coach Dungy. He like, hey, Mike, come in my office. So he pulls up about 3. he pulls before the defensive meeting. He pulls up about 4 plays, and he the quarterback hikes the ball and he freezes the film. He goes, "Is this a run or a pass right here, Mike?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a run." He about to hand it off to Stephen Davis. He runs it back again. He does one of these. Can you tell me if this is a run or a pass, Mike? I said, "It's a run." He about to hand it to Stephen Davis, and I come in and make the play. He goes, "Now, if he play actions that tight end is butt naked, for a touchdown." He goes, "We can't have you do this. I understand you have a lot of instincts and intangibles. That's why we drafted you. You're a great player. You're going to do great things here. But you cannot beat out the defense to the play. You can't be the first person. You got to let other people do their job." And he's like, and that's when I learned. I said, "Man, this NFL is a real business." Last year, Foxy, everybody, coaches, D'Antonio, like, great job, Mike. You made the play. It's like I'm All-American in Columbus, and they like, "Hey, if you keep doing this, you're gonna sit the bench. Yeah. You can't beat the Mike linebacker to the ball." And I was like, "Oh,
unacceptable."
And the thing too, in college, you get away with so much more in college. Just the quarterbacks aren't as good, and the ability to recognize something and to get out of or check out of something or see that you're doing, like, it just doesn't happen as much. The league, it's so much faster. Everything, the players are like, in college, Mike. I mean, receivers are running open. These quarterbacks are, they're okay, whatever. But in the league, dude, it's a different deal. I get it. And these jobs, man, they fire coaches quick in the NFL. So a coach sees you do that, he's like, he knows, hey, you made a great play, but dude, the next time, like, my ass is on the line.
Right, and it's a copycat league. Yeah, because Dungy's like, the next 3 games, that team's going to line up in that formation, and they're going to play action the shit out of you. They're going to throw it to that tight end, right? Until you decide to until you decide to do your job. So he goes, everyone's looking for the advantage. You just can't give the offense that advantage. Mm-hmm. So he's like, that's basically where he was coming from.
Mike, what you just said is the reason why they stopped letting me blitz at Ohio State. So we had this delayed blitz where it was perfect. It was a delayed safety blitz. You bet at safety, you can't go down too early because you can't be included in the count. So you got to time this thing up right? So how it went was our Mike linebacker would blitz the A-gap first. The center would go with him. The wheel backer would go blitz the A-gap behind him. The running back is going to take him. I delay blitz behind him. It's just me and the quarterback. So we get it done in practice, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this about to be sweet money. But, when you get in the game, you can't hold it. Like, what's about to happen.
That adrenaline rush.
We called this blitz, Mike. I was through there before both linebackers. I blew the whole thing.
You know what, Tyler? The crazy part about that is we used to have this blitz at McKinley called STEM Ohio. And this dude, so Mike Doss used to just he just walk on the line of scrimmage. It's like a bare front. And I loved it so much because I was like, listen, they going to blitz Mike Doss, but I get to drop off into coverage.
Oh, really?
It was like a zone blitz. So me, I'm like, listen, I need to stand up in this play. Can you let me, you got to let me stand up. So I start backpedaling I was like, I got the tight end right here. They're like, listen, bro, you're back. You're out of your stance way too early, bro. Why are you standing up? I would purposely get down late so I could just stand up because I was like, Florida State teams be standing up. I want to stand up. They got great gloves. I got great gloves. So they used to have this blitz of Mike Doss. You just go. And the craziest part about it is not only did they let him at every level get what he wanted off with playing, they would let him get stuff off with equipment too. I said, yo, how do you have a dark shield?
He was the first guy in Stark County to have a back flap.
He had the back flap. This is 98. He had the rolled up joint with the back flap.
I never seen a running back with a back flap until Mike Doss. In high school. Like the pros, like Eddie George didn't even have a back flap.
We used to go, Tom McDaniel used to be like, listen, y'all better not have nothing on y'all's feet. We played this team called Marion Harding. And Mike Doss comes out. Now, he comes out, he has his socks rolled down with these white cleats with some red on them. Like they look like they was the red spats. I said, this is wild. I was like, you know what? I got to do something. He's balling too much. This is unacceptable. We'll TV. I go tell my man, hey, Mikey B. Hey, go get some of that electrical tape. we didn't have no black tape. We out there with electrical tape.
I would have made you take that off too.
We slipping and sliding. We got electrical tape on the back side.
Yeah.
That ain't no regular tape. Man, they ran back that film. They said, you know what? Who's giving out this black tape? And Mike Doss, you're out here in this red spats. What's wrong with you? Man, I turned to my dude. We had a dude named Marcus Daniels. I said, he's a backup quarterback.
I remember that name.
Mark D gave me the black tape, dog. Yeah. We had to run so much in practice like the next day. But I was like, he'll never get that off. He'll never get that off at O State. Yeah, let him get a single digit, and he had a dark shield. Who gets a dark shield?
How did you get number 2 coming in?
Dude, unbelievable. Well, look at this guy.
Come on, man. Listen, I told Coach Coop, I said, Coach Coop, I'm coming to Columbus. I had a 2 in all my jersey numbers since Little League, but I want to be a single digit. And he was like, there was a receiver or somebody, and he was like, they're leaving. We'll make sure you get number 2. You good. So then when this is before duplicate numbers was like heavy. We see it all the time now. So when I came on, I saw we had a kicker named Eric Stevenson or something like that, and he had number 2. And I went to Coach Coop. I said, man, it can't be 2 number 2s, bro. You got to have dudes change this number. I said,
Doss wouldn't have no double number, man.
He bullied the kicker.
He had to change his number to like 89 and 93 or something.
To 89.
You got to change your number. But equipment-wise, Foxy, well, no, I need to call Jordan Brand right now and actually get my NIL conversation from 2002. Me and Foxy were the first athletes in college football, wearing Jordan wristbands. Mm-hmm. Where the Jumpman, I had the Jumpman headband on the ESPN magazine for sure.
That was God, that was the coolest thing ever.
And
Nike let you.
And I was wearing Jordan. And I was wearing Jordan cleats in the game. So
did you spat that up?
No, you had to rock them Jordans.
The only spat I remember, weren't you spatted up against Michigan in 2001?
You wore the 9s at O State.
Oh, he wore the 9s. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you towing the line.
I got a whole rookie card. Matter of fact, I might have it. Let me see if I got this. Let me check my cards. See if I got a picture of this.
I would have never did. I would have spatted them if I was gonna wear some Jordan cleats. I'd have spatted them so Nike wouldn't know that they wasn't Nike cleats.
Yeah, Nike was really hard on us about spatting.
They was hard on us for sure. But no, we had a great time, a lot of time.
How much would you? So this is wild. I know you and Fox probably think about this. How much would you have gotten in NIL If you were still
we could file a lawsuit and get, since they giving it to 2016, we could go back because I missed it by 1 year.
You guys would have made millions of dollars.
They giving out like $100,000.
They're not paying a white corner $1 million. I'll tell you that much.
And with the NIL, would you have considered going to another school besides Ohio State if somebody offered you more money?
I mean, it's hard to say. You know what I mean? That's 25 years ago, but it does depend on the number. I mean, if Penn State or somebody would have came to the house envelopes, but I was the guy who had the hookups.
if you remember, Doss, I mean, you guys got lucky because we won the title in 2002. He's a senior, right? So the seniors could, after the game, go make all this money.
That's right.
And y'all made six figures. You had to,
I crushed
at least.
I crushed them.
In like a month or two, like 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, about 2 months. I crushed them in the autograph game and the Nato, the bobblehead. My first check after I got my first check, after the celebration, they handed me $20,000. I got $20,000 right there.
It must be nice.
Right now,
by the way,
we went to
who was I'll ask this to both of you. Who was the biggest trash talker on that Miami team when you played them?
Kellen Winslow.
He was the biggest?
Kellen Winslow. Yeah, Kellen Winslow. Yeah, and Sean Taylor. I mean, he was on defense, but his energy, every time we run off and on the field, he was woofing. He was woofing.
Did y'all?
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Did y'all? I'm gonna give you, because this is weird. Like, it was so funny. Like, I was in college at the time, but at the time we let's not get it twisted. That's Miami. Mm-hmm. That's Willis McGahee. We used to play the game.
Andre Johnson,
Santana Moss, a couple.
Come on.
And when
I
y'all
played
played
against Santana Moss in '99. Yeah.
When y'all played them, it was funny because it was like, it's your childhood friends, like that played it. Like, it was a Stark County game.
Kenny,
like
KP had a big sack.
C. Grant, everybody was playing. So it was like, yo, we see you, we like, dang. Like, my childhood friends is playing Miami. Like, did y'all look at it kind of a little, like, did you look at it like, oh, they're good, or obviously did you look at it like we could beat them? Or,
well, it depends. Ask him and ask me. It'll be different answers.
Right.
So our perspective was, it's a different day and age. The national championship game and the playoffs now here. We had 40 days to prepare. So it was like a full month. We had a whole month off, and we literally watched every game they played. And we wrote down all their plays. We were scheming. We were sitting, even studying on our own. Like I said, the back seven, we would call out the plays. So when they came out in the first series and Wilhelm called the defense and they lined up, we calling the play out. We literally calling their plays out like, are they about to run X? Boom. And they ran it. Boom. Can you get the sack? Boom. We'll get a sack in the first series. So next thing you know, they just running the same plays. They've been running all year. They haven't schemed us. They ain't came with no new game plan, no new wrinkles.
Yeah, they're just not playing.
It's gonna be a long day,
dude. They had so many. They were in the Big East, I think, back then, weren't they? And they played Temple, dude. Like, they're putting up 90 against Temple and these other teams, and all of a sudden they play a team that's sort of equal to them in terms of athletes and talent, and way more discipline. Let's be honest, than those guys. And they were shell shocked. And thank God we got out to a lead, because I don't think we'd have come back.
Yeah, they literally thought they was gonna roll their helmets out, and then we just showed up for their party. And at the end of the day, all that talent, all the X's and O's, it really came down to 3 plays, but we dominated them that entire game. We really, if we just had a little bit more offensively, but not to put up, points. Nugent missed the field goal. He hadn't missed all year.
Right.
They didn't call a holding penalty in the fourth quarter on Gamble. These kind of things. But we really dominated them outside of probably 2-3 plays. They were lucky to get in a double overtime with us, is what I say. And they really had a chance to beat us on 4th and 16. You tell me Craig Krenzel was going to convert to Michael Jenkins on 4th and 15. I believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because we did it against Purdue. But if you look at their defense, there's no chance he's going to convert this against, Sean Taylor, Vince Wilfolk,
Antrell Roll.
William Joseph, DJ Williams, Antrell Roll. Like, these dudes are Pro Ballers, Hall of Famers. They got 3-4 Hall of Famers on their team.
Man.
Vilma, Jonathan Vilma. So these guys, so at the end of the day, that's to me, that's the greatest game of a national championship that was played. Everyone could talk about Vince Young, the individual, game in a sense against USC. But I tell people all the time when I'm a little biased, but a game from the beginning to the end, that was probably one of the better games in college football championship history when you really watch it, knowing the storylines.
Probably 100 guys from that game played in the NFL.
That's crazy.
I'm not even exaggerating. Our entire defense got drafted. Every player on our defense that started that game, drafted. Same with those guys.
Everybody.
That's nuts.
Everybody.
You got several Hall of Famers off of that one game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm lucky I'm blessed to be a college one.
Yeah, newly to the College Football Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Really quick, is the Buckeyes going to the first of all, Caleb Downs, is he good? How you like him?
Yeah, he rocking the two. How you doing?
How did he get that off? Is the Buckeyes going to the college football playoff?
Oh, they're going to the playoff. Come on.
Oh, absolutely. Come on, man. That start of the momentum. Did you watch the last highlight film of the post game, Fox? Did you see that? With Day in the locker room and the build-up and practice.
Them dancing and stuff? Or what?
Yeah,
Which one?
It's like a 90-second video that they just rolled like a day or two ago where they show Day practice all week. He's talking about the moments and, hey, this is what we're going to have to make a stop here. We're going to have to make a play here. We're going to take control of the game and impose our will on Penn State.
And it
happened. No matter what, and it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't see it. I'll check it out.
I think that us obviously taking that loss against Oregon was a big loss, but I think it was a growth moment for our team. What we were going to learn here over the next month of football is, can we continuously improve weekly and be prepared for those moments? I think they were very prepared last week. It showed the way we dominated there in the fourth quarter. Now we cannot have a letdown against Purdue. We got to go out to Northwestern and play those guys, but the Indiana game and that team up north, that will I like our chances to make the playoff. I think it's going to be a great game in a few weeks against Indiana. That probably will be the Big Ten championship before the rematch against Oregon in the Big Ten championship. So, it's a lot. You still got the rivalry game. So to answer your question, GB, yes, I believe we will make the playoffs. I believe we should make a deep run. I think we learned a lot about our team here last week.
Great stuff, Mike. It was good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, when I come down, I don't need a scholarship. I just want Pell Grant. Go ahead.
Like Killer Dogs.
Hey, what Fox didn't tell you is we went over to the walkthrough over at the facility, and Fox was like, "Hey man, I ain't been here in about 15 years." He's like, "Can I get some gear?" I said, "Man, I got you." We walked right into EQ's room, and Fox went Christmas shopping.
Oh, yeah. Kev hook it up now. Kev hook it up.
That was a good day for you.
Yeah, what?
And my kids. I got gear for everybody.
Right.
I walked out of that motherfucker with a duffel bag.
That's right. Thanks, Mike.
He got a straight Buckeye issue bag and was carrying it over his shoulder like this, jumping in the truck.
Yeah, and boxes of shoes.
He's going to the team dinner like he got hooked up. So good to see my guys, Tavis, Foxy, GB, man, love you guys. And if y'all coming back down to Columbus, you got to come to the tailgate. So you already know every home game, my tailgate it keeps going and going. So. GB, I know I won't see you, if I come up north. So,
all love. You know what I'm saying? You know how we get down.
I'll see you in the Muni lot. You know what I'm saying? I have to come see you in the Muni lot.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
So, Mike.
All right, guys.
That was fun.
That was the legend, Mike Doss. Let's talk a little baseball here, Bull, after a quick word from FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out all the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to join today. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Austin Hedges Bowl is back.
Yeah, not a surprise.
Are you a fan of the deal considering it's $4 million again for a team that doesn't often spend? Is it a good allocation of resources?
I'm actually fine with it. I've been convinced. Listen, we know Austin Hedges is maybe the worst hitter in modern history of baseball. That's not an exaggeration.
It's just funny when you say it like that.
It's just true. I mean, he'll tell you.
He got 20 hits.
The guy can't hit.
52 bats.
But I've been convinced over the past year that what he means to that team is worth the $4 million they spend. It's the same 1 year, $4 million contract they gave him last year. In the end, even though the frustration is that the Guardians don't spend enough money, we'll see if they spend more this offseason. I'm not convinced they will. But in the end, that $4 million to Austin Hedges, it's not like, well, now they can't sign a big outfielder because they paid Austin Hedges $4 million. They were either going to sign a big outfielder or not. They should. They probably won't. But signing Austin Hedges is not factoring into that decision. So hopefully they'll surprise us and still spend money on a couple other players.
Juan Soto.
That's not happening. Because that's clear. He's getting $50 million a year or $40-something million a year.
Is he worth it?
Yes.
Will he help the Guardians go to the World Series?
He would give them a much better chance to go to the World Series.
Give him
they were 3 wins away from the World Series, and Juan Soto's
give him his money.
Top 5 hitter in baseball.
Give him the money.
I'd love them to, but that's not going to happen. In fact, the Guardians would have to overpay because he had a great experience in New York, and he's gonna go stay in New York with the Yankees, stay in New York with the Mets, or go to the Dodgers.
They should have traded for Ohtani last year.
Well, you couldn't have traded 2 years ago. You mean?
Yeah. What was his last year?
2023.
Yeah, whatever.
Now we're in the 2025 mode. So to answer your question, Mike, in the end, I'm fine with the Hedges signing because it's not really going to affect anything else they do. I'll be disappointed if it's the only free agent they sign, which is pretty much what happened last year. They did sign Ben Lively, which was actually a good signing because they paid him almost no money. But the Guardians have a lot of work to do.
Who's the last big-time free agent they ever signed?
What's big time?
Where they paid him a good contract, not
Swisher?
Michael Bourne, Nick Swisher.
Well, last 2 years ago, they paid Josh Bell a decent amount of money.
How much is that?
What are you, 12?
That was like $17 million.
I think it was 17 for
the last big contract.
What was the catcher that played like
Zunino.
Mike Zunino. Yeah. The last big contract for multiple years that they signed was Edwin Encarnacion.
That was a good one.
That was almost.
They ended up trading him before the end of that contract.
That's almost 10 years ago. Was that 18?
That's been 10 years?
17, yeah.
It's 2017. So,
dang.
They just.
Now, they've re-signed some of their own players since then, but in terms of players outside of the organization, that's the last significant contract they've signed.
It's just hard because I just feel like when you watch the Guardians and, regular season is great. You get to the postseason, they almost have to play perfect. They have to play perfect to win. Like, they have to have overachievement when it comes to, like, think about it. The best part of our team the whole year was the bullpen. And in the playoffs, they kind of got neutralized.
They 100% got neutralized. They did not pitch well. I mean, Cade Smith pitched well. Clase was pretty bad in the playoffs.
They got neutralized.
And their two best players, Jose Ramirez and Josh Naylor, didn't play well in the playoffs. And that's the thing with baseball. Yeah. It's like, you just never know. It's not like other sports where your best players sometimes, Aaron Judge didn't, outside of that one home run against the Guardians, he was terrible in the playoffs.
That's why
guy's going to win the MVP.
That's why they have Soto, and that's why they got.
Tani wasn't great.
He was hurt, to be fair to him.
Okay.
He actually had surgery for
Jose
a torn labrum.
wasn't great, but
he was playing with a torn labrum.
We had Big Christmas. We good.
Yeah, right.
Boy.
He had the most clutch hit in the whole playoffs.
It was great, but the Guardians need a legitimate right fielder and at least one legitimate starting pitcher.
So Big Christmas ain't a legitimate.
I'm just amazed that somebody who you says the worst hitter in baseball history, you're being obviously sarcastic, is going to get $4 million.
I'm not really being sarcastic. I mean,
I know what you're saying though, Bull, but the point is, like, baseball money's stupid. Like,
we should have played.
he can only do one thing. And that's catch a baseball, which I think. And he calls a nice game too, but.
He's getting paid. In baseball, $4 million is.
He can pitch.
Well, that's the point.
It's
a drop in the bucket here.
Didn't he pitch?
Pitch.
Yeah,
late in the game.
Sure. But
in a 19-0 game.
He might be a better pitcher than he is a hitter.
What does that say, though? What does that say?
Man is Ohtani. He can do it all.
Somebody said to me yesterday, could you DH for the catcher instead of the pitcher? Let the pitcher hit when he's playing.
I mean, Boyd and Cobb and Lively are, I believe, they're free agents, right?
Not Lively. Boyd and Cobb are free agents.
But that says a lot when those are your best pitchers and you got them like 2 seconds before the season was over and you played them in the playoffs. So pitching has always been a strength of the Guardians. They need something in the rotation, or unless Tristan McKenzie becomes magically, or Logan Allen magically.
I don't know about. I mean, with McKenzie, I wouldn't say magically. When he's been healthy before last year, he had been a pretty good pitcher. So
what does?
I think it's reasonable to think he could bounce back. Logan Allen, to me, is not as good a player. So
McKenzie still ain't gonna get surgery. So what does another year do?
I don't know.
He's between a rock and a hard place. I think he needed surgery, and he didn't get it right before he got that bag.
And he would have his arm would have came back stronger from the surgery, right?
Sure, but there have been guys that haven't had surgery and have had and have healed, and have still had success. But the list is pretty short.
Okay.
So it's possible. I mean, it was a decision he made. If there was no chance he was going to get better without surgery, I'm sure he wouldn't have done that.
Is Bazana going to start the year with
the
big leagues?
I doubt it.
Is Big Christmas going to start the year with the big league?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So why do we doubt it?
Because most guys don't start in the majors the year after they're drafted. I mean, it's very rare. That's not. I wouldn't even kill the Guardians for that. But I think if he plays well, I think he's got a chance to start the season in the majors. I think there's a chance if he's great in spring training and he's killing it. And certainly, I think he has a chance to be in the big leagues at some point next year. But if you ask me now, is he going to be there when the season starts? I'd say the odds are probably no. But honestly, even if he was drafted by the Yankees, I don't think he'd be starting this year. Like, no matter who he was drafted by, it's just not the way baseball works in general.
Where did that pitcher go? Wasn't it the pitcher went second?
The pitcher for the Pirates was
Chase Burns.
Yeah, what team did he go to? Who drafted?
Didn't the Reds draft Chase Burns?
I don't even know. Where did you come up with him?
He was the Wake Forest pitcher that.
Yeah.
He was the first pitcher off the board.
Right.
Yeah, but he's not Paul Skeens.
No.
So even Skeens, right? Skeens was the best pitching prospect to get drafted since Steven Strasburg, and Skeens got drafted in 23. And made his major league debut in like May or June of this year. I don't remember exactly when it was. I think I want to say it was late May, early June. And he was a way better prospect than Travis Bazana. So like, Paul Skeens is one of the best pitching prospects ever.
Well, and he was a no doubter first overall pick.
Right, and even he was not in the big leagues in April.
Well, we know the Guardians. I mean. We be having dudes that be in the minors for 45 years.
Listen, I get it.
Manzardo might not even start up here.
No, Manzardo's
he better.
He will.
We was waiting for it last year.
Yeah, but this year
he had played the year before. We're like, yo, this guy is ready. But he's been in the minors. The
only reason he wasn't in the majors to start last season is because they honestly felt like, and I disagree, but they felt like they didn't have a place for him to play every day. That's not going to be the case next year, especially with David Fry going to miss a minimum of a month and maybe as many as 3 months to start the season.
Next year is a success if I can see Espino, Valera.
He's hurt. Espino's out of here.
Listen.
Guy's been hurt for 3 years.
I just need to see it.
Valera.
One time. Valera.
That's the name of
I don't want to see those guys.
Isn't that a gas station?
I want to see them in major action. I'm tired of hearing stories about these
I want to trade those guys.
I want to see them.
I don't care about any of those guys. I want to trade them and get major league players. Let's go. Enough with the prospects.
So you're saying they're not major league players?
No, I don't know, but they might be. But I want proven major league players. That's what they need, not another hope and a prayer with a minor leaguer. Start with Manzardo. He needs to play first base. Josh Naylor's got to be a DH. If you don't like it, then trade his ass out of town. I don't care. Let's go. I mean, Naylor's terrible at first base.
He made a couple of nice digs in the playoffs.
Hey, he'll make a play here and there, but overall he's not very good.
Couple scoops.
All right, Mike, we got a new game to play, right?
We do. We're
right.
going to play a new game. It's not.
We got games back. Yes.
We did bring a game back. Today's
That's the
game
sign
is
that the
brought
Browns
to
are terrible. Is that we have game? We have.
I've been trying. Yeah, like listen, like give me these games.
Today's game segment is brought to us by Prize Picks as Tyvis passes out the whiteboards and the markers. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you get your money back in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks invented the Flex Play too, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game when you want. All right, guys, so we've played True or False before. Mm-hmm. And because there's no game, I couldn't do my 5 stats of the week. So what we did instead is as I was looking up some numbers for something else, I came across a few stats that just blew my mind. So this is real stat, fake stat. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a stat related to the 2024 Cleveland Browns. You got to tell me if it's real or if I made this up.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
And this is about the current Browns.
This is this season's Browns, yes.
Yeah.
So real or fake, and I'll keep score over here.
Okay.
Number 1, and can you play the music? Anthony's directing today, so we have no music.
Oh, boy.
Number 1, real or fake? Jameis Winston had as many turnovers versus the Chargers as the Commanders have this entire season as a team. Is that real, or did I make it up?
I mean, we could just do true or false on these. But
it's true or false, fake or real, whatever you want.
Real.
Didn't matter how you made the game. Bull's going to complain about it. Just so you know.
That's true.
I have learned that is accurate. Did Jameis have as many turnovers against the Chargers as the Commanders have had all season? This feels weird without music, but
it's very awkward without the music.
G. Bush says fake. Tyvis says real. Dustin says fake. Bull says real, which means 2 of you guys are right, 2 of you guys are wrong. And in our first game segment of the season, I think the first game segment we've ever done with Dustin, he's down 1-0. It is real.
Yeah.
3 turnovers against the Chargers. 3 turnovers all season.
Yeah, I know Jaden Daniels hadn't really turned the ball over.
I know,
much.
yeah.
Man, I feel like they could have fumbled on a kickoff or something, bro. 3 is Minimowski.
Yeah.
They've done a great job not turning
There we go.
over. Next.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next
music.
one, Anthony.
Now I'm hot.
Anthony's going to pull up the next one. True or false? DeMar Hamlin has twice as many interceptions this season as the Browns do as a team. Real or fake?
Who has picks this year?
For who?
No one has any picks.
For the Browns?
For the Browns? No one has picks.
Tyvis says fake.
I think this is true. Ain't nobody got no picks. This is true.
But if it's 0, then it couldn't be double.
DeMar Hamlin does have a pick or 2.
I know he has it.
He had one, like, an easy one.
Right, I know he has
gimme.
1, so I'm assuming he has 2, and the Browns, I think, have 1 interception.
Bull's spot on. The Browns have 1 interception. DeMar Hamlin has 2. The lone interception for the Browns?
JOK.
One of the 3 Commander turnovers was a JOK interception.
That is egregious for the secondary time.
Oh, my God, it's embarrassing.
That means that my G New theory still got hope.
I mean, Martin Emerson.
Need 2 to lead.
Martin Emerson it's hard to trail somebody a lot and get picks.
Yeah. All right.
Next up, real or fake? Despite his 3 sack performance against the Chargers, Myles Garrett still is one of the top 2 sack leaders in the AFC.
That's definitely true.
Still isn't.
It's supposed to be, by the way, AFC North, not the AFC. AFC North.
Oh, that's you.
See, now you.
AFC North.
He's splitting hairs. Oh my gosh,
That's a big difference.
Yeah, I know it is.
Huge difference.
He still ain't got that many sacks, bro. True ski.
G says it is real/true. Tyvis and Dustin both say fake.
And Tyvis and Dustin are both incorrect.
I got to get a fake at some point.
No, it's fake.
Yeah, I'm not going to go 3 in a row.
TJ Watt only has 6.5 sacks.
I know Trey Hendrickson leads the league in sacks.
Myles Garrett's 2, and then there are 3 players just shy of Myles Garrett. So that was Dustin and Tyvis who got it right.
Turned it over all confident.
Hey, what's the score?
Trey Hendrickson has like 11.
He leads the NFL with 11 sacks.
What's the score, man?
Through 3 questions, Tyvis and Bull both have 2. G and Dustin have 1.
Oh, man, I thought it was certain. I can't believe that.
He turned that
TJ
around.
Watt, that's why I thought it was
Trey Hendrickson right now should be Defensive Player of the Year.
He's definitely up there. All right, next one.
Guy's underrated.
Real or fake? The Browns are the only team in the NFL with more punt yards this season than total offensive yards.
Oh, my God. If that is true.
Come on, man.
Oh, my God.
G. Bush says fake off principle.
Off top. If it's true, it's a
Bull
fireable
says
offense.
real. Dustin says fake. Tyvis says real. I can't read what the board says. Real. Corey B for MVP.
This is an easy one, dude.
This was the question that inspired me to do this. Corey Bjorkis has 2,600 yards this season punting. The Browns' offense is 2,470. Bjorkis has more punt yards than the Browns have offensive yards.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
It's beyond embarrassing.
You should tweet that out, unless someone already has.
I don't want to play anymore.
They have not. It's scheduled to tweet at 1 o'clock today.
Yeah.
I don't want to play anymore.
Who's calling me during the show? Why is somebody calling me?
It's
What
a
is
spam,
happening?
dude. Well, first off, why is your phone not on Do Not Disturb?
I don't know. Because most people know not to call me during the show. Hey, potential spam. Go away.
Nice.
There you go. All right.
Dustin and G have 1. Tyvis and Bull each have 3 now as we head to question
That's crazy.
number 4. Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry both have 100 more rushing yards than the Browns do as a team this year.
They both individually do, or
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, they both individually have more than 100 yards.
Hold on, let me see that one more time. I gotta make it.
Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry both have 100 more rushing yards than the Browns do.
They have
as a
to.
team.
This is factalicious right here.
I was about to say
3 reels.
they 100% do.
4 reels,
We
4
can't-
correct answers.
we can't run
around
the
horn,
ball.
they both do.
Who's the Browns' leading rusher this year?
Jerome
Jerome
Ford with
Ford.
267.
yeah, that was the easiest one to give us all day.
And
267.
I need every media member to have these in hand when you go to the Browns game and Andrew Berry says they like their roster,
Yeah.
bring these numbers up.
Yeah, and
The Bjorkes one, that one's the
Are the Browns the only team with more punt yardage than
Yes.
offensive?
Yes.
You know,
There are a couple others that are kind of close,
Carolina maybe.
and New England are close.
are the
but
Browns
they
a
still
real
have more.
football team or a fake football team?
They
right,
shouldn't
next
be this
one.
bad. They should not be this bad. This is ridiculous.
Next one. If you combine Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston's total QBR this season, so add them together,
Right.
it would still not be as high as Lamar Jackson's. Is that real or is that fake?
That seems kind
No,
of fake
that's
because,
fake.
like, if you get say 60 is bad and
I mean,
somebody else has 60, that's one.
let's say 45's bad.
This
Well,
is
then you
not-
put two
this
together,
is
you get 90.
QBR, not
This
quarterback
is QBR,
rating.
not quarterback
Oh,
rating.
that's-
This is
that's
1
higher,
through
right?
100,
No, lower.
This is the lower one. 1 through 100, not 158.3 is
This
the
is false.
high.
This is false. If this is true,
Wait a
again,
minute, because I was dead confident until until.
till you did
G
the
has a
math.
false. Dustin has a fake and fake.
Everyone's in your top 5 till you have to list them. You're like, he
Bull
ain't really
says
in the top
real,
5.
and Tyvis is still pondering.
Let's go, Tyvis.
Copycat. Tyvis is looking off my paper, teacher.
Today, Junior.
Tyvis says fake, and Tyvis, you have taken the lead here.
Oh!
It is fake. If you combine Deshaun and Jameis's QBR, you get an 84.7.
He would've got-
Lamar's by himself is a 77.9.
I should have said nothing. He wouldn't have got that if I wasn't.
Is Lamar number
I
one?
had
Yes.
fake and I wiped it away.
Oh, that's
and
what
I just
happened.
put fake again.
That's what that was.
All right, two more.
Why would I lie?
Rodney McLeod is still tied for the team lead with 2 touchdowns. He plays safety.
Tied for the team lead. Nick Chubb's just got 1 now, right? Or does he have 2?
1.
Just 1.
Cedric Tillman got 2.
Cedric Tillman.
Cedric Tillman.
Wait a minute. Does quarterbacks count?
No, this is like skill position players and defensive players because McLeod's part of
it. And Lionheart got a touchdown.
Bull says true.
Yeah.
Dustin says true. Tyvis says real, which is true. G. Bush says real.
This is Truski.
You guys are all wrong. Cedric Tillman has 3 now.
Oh.
Cedric Tillman had 2 touchdowns in Jameson's.
Oh, that little
tiptoe.
I got you. That was
That was good. We should have remembered that.
Okay.
You see, he scored last week.
Yeah.
Remember at the end of the game, that great catch he made in the end zone? I mean, it was garbage time, but it was still a great catch.
I was checked out.
Yeah.
So as we enter the last question here, Tyvis, you have 5.
Oh.
Bull, you have 4. G and Dustin have 3. Let's see if you get this last one right.
I got to get it right.
The Browns have given up 43 sacks this season, a dozen more than any other team in the NFL. Is that a real stat, or is it fake?
That's false. I think people be getting sacked a lot. I don't know if it's a dozen more. You know, McNuggets be having half of it true, half false.
G. Bush says fake. Dustin says fake. Tyvis says real. Bull says fake for the chance to tie Tyvis. Drum roll, Anthony. It is real. Tyvis is your winner in the crazy Brown stats to start the season.
I thought it was real, but I had to
go also, that was not fair, too, because he saw our answers, and then he went the opposite way.
Yeah, you see how he did that? He always goes last. Remember? You watch how he's
No, to be fair, I went last that time because I was waiting to see Tyvis' answer and go opposite.
See, that's
on the last time because I had to try to tie him.
$1 Bobs.
First of all, I want to thank my Lord for this, you know. And I want to thank all the people that support the UCSS show. You know, me spending time watching the misery every Sunday and having to do pre-games and post-game have really paid off this time.
They've sharpened your skills
to really win this award. So thank
Better
you, Mom.
than me.
I want to say thank you to my beautiful wife. Love you. And the kids. And go Bucks.
By the way, Anthony pulling a Steve over there. Last night, having nothing to do with anything else we've talked about, last night I sat down with my family and we watched Beetlejuice. Has anybody seen this?
The original?
No, the sequel.
Oh, the newest one?
No.
Yeah.
I have not. Do you like it?
It was horrible.
Okay. It looked like it'd be horrible.
Has anybody else seen it?
No.
Nobody's seen it, you guys? Nope. Nobody's seen the second Beetlejuice? No?
No.
It was and the original one's a classic.
Was it like Coming to America and then the second Coming to America?
I couldn't even. Second Coming to America was so bad I didn't even.
Was Michael Keaton in this one?
Really?
Michael Keaton is in this one, yes.
What was his role?
He was Beetlejuice.
Oh, and he sucked?
The whole thing was terrible. The script was terrible. What's her name? Winona Ryder played herself as an adult.
It's tough to make a sequel when you bring back the same characters because they're all different. They're all old. You don't know if they're even good actors anymore.
It was so bad. I didn't even. The only reason we watched the whole thing is because I paid for it on pay-per-view.
Did you watch the new Twisters yet?
No.
I heard it was really good.
I've heard that too. Is it supposed to be a sequel or a remake?
I don't know. It's Twisters, so I think it's a sequel.
Okay. Anybody seen it?
Twisters?
Nobody's seen that.
God, It did well at the box office too.
Yeah.
It's on at home now.
I really don't.
It is?
I don't be having time to really sit down and watch stuff like that.
What do you mean?
The only
you
time
do a staycation.
I got a new theater too at the house.
See?
The only time I can watch a lot of stuff is when I'm on these flights. Like going to Oregon, I'm gonna watch a lot of stuff.
What are you gonna watch?
I'm gonna watch The Penguin.
Oh, The Penguin.
I gotta finish The Sopranos.
What season are you up to?
4.
Oh, okay. Are you enjoying it?
Season 4 is a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried
the middle of that show was fantastic.
Well,
I've gone back and watched a few.
I still would take. To me, The Wire is the best show ever because
I'm starting that next.
And we have some roast that people paid for, so we got.
Okay. Sopranos did not. Sopranos had one bad season.
Which was
when he was in the coma. That was just a terrible season, I thought. And the rest of the show was amazing.
All right, let me get a read in, then we can get to these super chats and the roast of G. Bush's outfit. Z-Biotics is going to bring us today's super chat. Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct not dehydration. That's the blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make Z-Biotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Here's how to use it. Step 1, drink pre-alcohol. Step 2, drink responsibly. And step 3, enjoy tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/LockedOnNFL to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use the Locked On NFL promo code at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/LockedOnNFL and use the code LockedOnNFL at checkout for 15% off. All right, guys.
It's time for the roast of G. Bush.
We got one super chat that's not related, and then the rest are related. Don Wilson says, get rid of Sean King, who said we should build around Jameis and not the guy we owe $90 million to. Funny how Watson was bad, but Jameis needs more help. Our wide receivers are bad. Top 5 in drops. Number 2 last year, number 1 this year.
Sheesh.
We still got guys defending Deshaun Watson. It's stunning to me at this point, but okay.
Okay, time for the roasts. Donnie M says, G looks like the 6th heartbeat. Nights like this, I wish.
Nights like this.
I don't get that.
Is that a band?
It's a BET exclusive.
Yeah.
You got the 5 heartbeats. It comes on BET. You
Gotcha.
check it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Q says, G Bush looking like a royal blue disco ball from 1974. Hashtag nothing but love, UCSS.
That's a good one.
If I spin around in circles, that'd be crazy.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I like that. He's the winner so far.
MC McGee says, G Bush must have taken fashion advice from Cam Newton in a bad way. Just missing the crazy hair through the hat.
You got to give an insult. That was like, you got to come with that fire, bro. Like,
what about like if you had tearaway pants on? Those could be warm-ups for the Magic, Orlando Magic.
It could, bro.
Yeah.
I could be the Magic.
That'd be a nice little jumpsuit to warm up in.
And even the shoes go with it.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Aaron Snyder says G looks like a giant bedazzled Smurf.
Smurf's a little more powder blue.
Yeah, I got.
That's
This
true.
is more royal blue.
You know, by the way, there's a lot of things wrong with politically correctness. Smurfs, I don't know. There's a lot of things going on with the Smurfs. I don't
you gotta explain that to me. I don't really know that.
The commune, bro, like the commune of Smurfs.
There's only one woman.
With Smurfette, like, are they friends? Are they relatives?
What's
are they
happening?
together? How did you, like, who's their parents? What is that?
Great question.
How is there only one Smurf?
Aaron also says G looks like a disco ball.
Okay.
So we
disco
got that
ball.
one in
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Q says if G Bush takes a spill, we'll be saying Happy New Year. Hashtag UCSS.
Okay. I mean, so
Not
far.
feeling that one.
Yeah, come on.
K Drawford, which is J Crawford if you switch the J and the C, says, dang, they done run G out the bus and got the panda chain snatched. No wonder why we hadn't seen it in a while.
Sheesh.
What you mean?
Snatched the chain?
Nobody snatches my chains. I got the turnover chain at home.
Sheesh.
Come on, man. No one gets me.
This is not a roast. This is another super chat, then I'll get to the rest of the roast. Pink Bunny ENT says, draft Ashton Genty this year, Arch Manning next year. Those are the players Haslam needs to get in the new stadium. Genty being mentored by Nick Chubb would be insane.
Genty's a running back, right?
Boise State.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's put up huge numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll never
I
have
tell
that
you
in the
what,
first round.
what? I was reading a stat. They was saying that Caleb Johnson, the running back from Iowa, who's actually from Ohio, is actually putting up decent numbers, but he don't carry the ball as much as Genty does.
Right.
Like he got his numbers is up there too. So it's interesting.
Is the thought that Genty's going to be like a superstar in the league?
That's what they say.
He's the highest rated running back.
Yeah,
It's a running back.
I want to see what he does in the playoffs.
I do too.
All right. Next.
All right, next comes from Roberto El Presidente, who says G. Bush is headed to Studio 54 after today's show.
Yeah.
Got a pop locking competition against Rerun from What's Happening. B33Z.
Rerun, he is the greatest fat guy dancer of all time, is Rerun from What's
Let me just
Happening.
read the
Heavy
last
D
couple.
is the greatest.
Dancer?
Yes.
Rerun?
Heavy D.
BEEZ says G. Bush dressed like CeeLo Green. Felonious Monk says G. Bush dressed like Rick James security guard.
That's kind of
G.
funny.
Bush with the plug-in Christmas light jacket talks about it's electric. Him and Boulder the electric slide.
The plug-in jacket is kind of fire.
Jeffrey Moody says G looks like he lost a fight with the Bedazzler. And Steve DeRoss says, is G. Bush headed to a Taylor Swift concert after the show?
Oh,
gee, that does look like one of them Taylor Swift Chiefs.
Actually, to be truthful, here's how I know, because they couldn't come up with nothing that crazy. This is how I know. They like, the jacket is kind of fire, though. Like, the jacket kind of fire. Oh, and by the way, you ain't got these, though.
Can you actually...
Look, this saves the whole thing. You ain't got these.
Definitely a 3.
You don't have them with the bedazzled jacket. Are you serious? Stop playing games with me.
Yeah, them Royals about 400 on StockX.
These right here, these boys right here, they like, when did they come out with this color?
It's definitely
when you didn't get them.
Shout out to the
when they came out.
All right, we'll see you on Overtime here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Peace, love, and soul.